Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and nobody will have guessed this video idea. This video idea I have been formulating and tabulating over the past few days, and of course I saw it in the comments, but still, let's take a look. We took a look at the cards I don't want to see come back from Wild, the cards I do want to see come back from Wild. Well, with the core set, they're going to be adding cards or keeping certain cards from Basic and Classic. So I went through the Basic and Classic collection. And of course, Basic is, you know, the cards you start off with, and Classic is the first ever major expansion, like over 200 cards. And went through all of that and went through and determined 10 cards that I would love to see stay from there. I don't think should leave. And I'll give my reasons for it. And again, this is all personal preference. Who knows if it'll happen? Maybe some of these should happen, shouldn't happen. But it's my list, so I'm going to put my opinion out there, and of course you guys can share your opinion in the comments below. But let's get into it. Let's take a look at the 10 cards that I don't want to see leave from Classic and Basic. So starting off at number 10, we're going to start off with the basic card Acidic Swamp Ooze, 2-mana 3/2 Battle Cry, destroy weapon. I'm a big proponent of counterplay, and yes, there's Harrison Jones, but that's a legendary minion, and I think that, you know, you want to keep some weapon removal in the game, and unless they're bringing something like Gluttonous Ooze from Wild back in or something like that, I think it would make sense to keep a card like Acidic Swamp Ooze in there. There's like a weapon meta like we've seen pretty recently. It's nice to have Ooze available to destroy those weapons, whether it be a Wrench Caliber or Bog Spine Knuckles, whatever. And I do think it's important to keep those counterplay cards in the game. So at number 10, definitely for me, Acidic Swamp Ooze. And on that note, at number 9, I'm going to go with SI7 Infiltrator. Another neutral card. It's a 4-mana 5/4 minion. It's part of the Classic set, and it has Battle Cry. You destroy an enemy secret. And again, to have cards, you know, that allow counterplay, whether you're going to run them or not. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen anyone hard run SI7 Infiltrator. I just think it's important to have in that core set of cards that you have some counterplay for those basic interactions, whether it be a weapon or like here, secret. It's just good, healthy for the game. And, you know, they brought it in when they like Hall of Famed a couple of cards. It's not part of the original Classic set, but I think it should be part of the core set overall and would just be, you know, a smart addition and no reason to really get rid of it. And number 8, a kind of last card in this vein is Doomsayer, 2-mana 0/7 epic, and at the start of your turn, destroy all minions. So this is like the anti-aggro card that's been around forever and ever and ever. You know, it doesn't really ever go off anymore because, you know, early game cards are just so ridiculous now that you play Doomsayer on 2. It just pretty much never works, but back in the day, it was pretty viable. You could like, and you know, you could tech for it with Crazed Alchemist, which is part of the Classic set. But I think you want to keep Doomsayer in there. Again, it's like an anti-aggro tech, might help keep things in check. But again, as I said, as the game has progressed, as power creep has gone so far, Doomsayer is not super relevant. So maybe you do want to just rotate it and not have it in the core set for that reason, but I still think Doomsayer has that place, and I'd be sad to see it go. At number 7, we have the Warrior Epic Board Clear Brawl, and I know a lot of people, I remember APX a couple of years back saying Brawl should be Hall of Famed. It's like in every Warrior deck ever, and it's this, you know, obnoxious board clear, random, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like there's just no good AoEs in the core set, like, or in Basic Classic outside of Brawl. And if you get rid of that, you're going down a dangerous road if you are totally going to rely on like board clears that are made for like every expansion. Or maybe they introduce a brand new card, because there are going to be new cards added to the core set outside of Classic, Basic, and the Hall of Fame. Maybe they'll do that, and then it's okay that there's a substitute for Brawl. But I just feel like we need that one class that can keep like certain things in check, because like there's Twisting Nether, and that might rotate, who knows. But I think Brawl is the most effective board clear to try and stabilize with certain aggro metas, and I just think it would be a little bit scary to get rid of a card like this that could really dial in aggro back, which is always super prevalent, super powerful. And like, how powerful do you want aggro to be to get rid of Brawl? So personally, I'd like to see Brawl stay, but I definitely could understand the argument, you know, to also get rid of it as well. I totally get that. Next at number 6 is Backstab for Rogue. 0-mana spell, deal 2 damage to an undamaged minion. And I just think that with Rogue's hero power, the tempo, this card is so core. It's been so pivotal to Rogue forever. It's a broken card. It's ridiculous. It's really good, but like, you take this card away from Rogue, I don't know how the hell Rogue survives. Like, it's tough. Like, you need Backstab to like activate combos to survive the early game. Like, your only way of protecting yourself is typically using your face with weapons, and you don't have backstab to kind of help you out there. It's going to be rough. And I know Rogue has been like the best class forever. I complain about it a lot, but I don't complain about cards like backstab or tempo cards. I think those are fine. It's more like the RNG, like the insane, like random stuff that's been going on with Rogue, or just the insane cheap draw. But that's for a video another day. I think backstab is just so core, so vital to Rogue, that you take a card away like that, take a card like that away from Rogue, I don't know if it's gonna be a tier 1 or viable class. Like, it's that freaking good, and I would hate to see backstab go. It's just so core, so Rogue. It just would feel absolutely wrong if it wasn't part of the core set. At number 5, I'm gonna go with the Shaman card, Manatide Totem. I just feel this card just fits the flavor of Shaman very well. You have totems, you have some decent card draw, you have all the totem synergies that they keep pushing, and if you get rid of Manatide Totem, I mean, Shaman's already in a bad enough spot. I don't think you want to be getting rid of any good cards, and Manatide's one of those decent cards. It's not like it's great, but you know, it works in Totem Shaman, it works in like control decks if you need to draw, and you can buff it up and do some good stuff with it. And I don't know, like, don't think you want to be getting rid of the totem stuff for Shaman unless they're totally reworking like the hero power just not to even do anything totem based and they just ditch it, then sure. But as it stands right now, I just think like you can get rid of a lot of Shaman cards because a lot of them are bad, but Manatide Totem probably should be one of them that sticks around. At number 4, we have another Rogue card, SI7 Agent. This card to me, 3 mana 3/3 combo, deal 2 damage, just feels like Rogue. This is like such a good Rogue card. It's tempo, it's combo, it's well like priced for its mana cost. It's just a sweet Rogue card. It feels Rogue. It doesn't see a lot of play lately, but I don't know. And it's got Disguised Toast little tagline. You know, you can't get rid of that iconic tag. So SI7 Agent, just super iconic for Rogue, and they would just feel, again, would just be really weird without it. But again, maybe get rid of it because it's so iconic. I don't know. It's really subjective, but for me, love to see SI7 Agent stay. At number 3, we have the Paladin Legendary Tyrian Fordring. 8 mana 6/6 Divine Shield, Death Rattle. You equip a gigantic weapon, and he hasn't really seen a heck of a lot of play lately outside of being generated from Zephrys. But can you think of a more iconic legendary, except for maybe one I might mention in a second, for a class than Tyrian? Like, a world without Tyrian and Paladin would just feel weird, and maybe I'll be ready for that at some point, but I don't know if I'm ready for it yet. Like, I feel like if they want to recycle or like rotate out a legendary out of a class, it should be something like Hunter, where it's like King Crush, where it's a 9/8 mana 8/8, you know, it's flavorful for the Hunter, but it never ever sees play. But Tyrian sees moderate play. It fits Paladin just so unbelievably well that it would just be a shame to put it to like Wild and not have it in the core set. And I just think Tyrian, I'd like to see you stick around. You're just so iconic, and I hope he doesn't go anywhere anytime soon. And in that note, we'll go with number 2, the other iconic legendary in my opinion for a class, and that's Archmage Antonidas. 7 mana 5/7. Every time you cast a spell, add a fireball to your hand. Can you imagine Mage without Archmage? I know Antonidas doesn't see a ton of play these days, but again, he's a sweet card. He's enabled like Exodia Mage. He's a value card. He could do all sorts of cool stuff, and it would just be really, really, really weird to see Mage without Archmage. But again, that could be a cool thing. But for me, I want to see legendaries added to classes that just need something new and interesting and spicy. And I don't think Mage and Paladin need it at all. Archmage is a badass card, and I don't want to see him go anywhere. Before I get to number 1, I'll list some honorable mentions. I'll lump them together for Mage. Fireball, Frostbolt. I can't imagine playing the tutorial for Hearthstone or getting into Hearthstone and not learning spells through Fireball and Frostbolt. They're just so iconic. They're such like classic balanced burn spells that have been in the game forever, and it would just be really weird without Mage Jaina blasting with some burn spells. And like, are you really gonna just replace Fireball and Frostbolt? I don't know. They're just perfect in my opinion. I wouldn't get rid of them. Animal Companion for Hunter, always summoning a Huffer. How can you get rid of that Solid Beam? It fits Hunter very well. It's a really good card. Does a lot of stuff, whether it goes face, give you a taunt, buff your other minions with attack. Solid card. Don't get rid of Companion. And lastly, Lord Jaraxxus, yet another iconic legendary for Warlock. It's the original hero card. Replace your hero with Jaraxxus, get a weapon, summon 6/6s for the rest of the game. Not very playable, but still, maybe they can like buff him or something, rework him a little bit, make him playable, because Jaraxxus needs at least one more time to shine. Give him one more chance. Let Jaraxxus have his time. I don't want to see him go quite yet. So those are the honorable mentions. Let's get to number one, the most card I don't want to see leave the game. It's super exciting, super impactful, super crazy. It's Novice Engineer. It's a 2-mana 1/1 Battlecry. Draw a card. This is just like a fundamental Hearthstone card. It's like the fundamental Hearthstone card. It's good in noob decks. It's good in combo decks. It's good in like all sorts of decks. It's fit into so much stuff. It's like the Swiss Army knife of cards, and it's a great way to learn. It's a great card to play. It's cool. It's Novice Engineer. Don't get rid of my girl. She's sweet. Keep her in Classic. Keep her in the core set. I want to keep drawing cards with Novice till the end of time. Don't touch my Novice Engineer. So there you have it. That's on my list of the 10 basic and classic cards I would like to see stay in the core set. Let me know in the comments below which ones you disagree with or what you would like to see stay in your own opinion. And I wonder what I'll cover in my next video. I'm sure the comments will really struggle to see what's coming tomorrow. It's going to shock you, I tell you that much. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day. Stay salty, my friends.